Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing 4 different book series by 4 amazingly talented indie authors. I have quite a bit of ground to cover, so I'm just going to dive right on in. The first series is the Shattered Heart series by Cassia. It's contemporary romance and it centers around one couple, Chris and Claire. Claire's actually a foster child sent to live with Jackie Knight, Chris's mother. They start to spend some time together, they get to know each other, and eventually they form a relationship. I've read some reviews and some people thought this was a little weird. I don't think it's weird at all. It's very sweetly written. Chris is a musician, and when he gets a chance at a record deal, it puts their relationship in turmoil. That's kind of just what really gets the ball rolling with this book series. Cassia writes characters that are very, very easy to relate to. The entire series really deals with making decisions, making the right decisions, making the wrong decisions, how it affects you, how it affects your lovers, how it affects your career, your families as a whole. They're very emotional reads. There'll be times when you just have to sit the book down and really think about what's going on and think about your life and the decisions you've made and how they haunt you, how they've molded you into the person you are today. This series really, really makes you think. When I finished the series, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I spent another 2 hours just sitting there and thinking about it and soaking it all in and crying, ugly crying. Not particularly because I was sad, just because I was so overwhelmed with all the emotions that were portrayed in this book. My poor husband thought I was having an emotional breakdown, which I was. The story, it's wild and it's raw and it's exhilarating and and it just really gets you to think, you know, what would I do in her position or in his position? And it's an ugly cry, emotional, beautifully written read. It's just, the books are amazing. The reading order is Forever Ours, Relentless, Pieces of You, Bring Me Home, Abandon, and Chasing Abby. I cannot stress this enough. These are not standalone novels. If you just picked one up and decided to read it, I think that would be okay, but you really wouldn't get everything that's poured into it. You'd really be missing out, I think. So I think when you decide to read these, I think you should read them from beginning to end. Don't hop around and don't just grab Relentless and start reading it, because I honestly think you'll be a little bit lost. But you'll want to read these as a whole, and you'll want to speed read them. I actually gifted them to my PA, and she read all of the books in, I think, 6 days. She just breezed through them. They're really easy to read. They're really smooth, and they're funny. These characters, they're not one-dimensional characters. They're very, very well written, and you will probably shouldn't read these books in public. There are some steamy scenes that'll kind of make you blush. There's really funny scenes that'll literally have you laughing out loud, and you'll feel like a moron if you're reading them in public. I'm just warning you. And then there's a lot of emotional scenes that will make you cry. I am not a big crier. I bawled reading these books. I am serious. Ugly crying. It was awful. But the best kind of awful. So if you like contemporary romance and you like emotional, dramatic reads, you will really, really like the Shattered Heart series. Next up is the Lonesome Point series by Jessie Evans. This book series is set in the town of Lonesome Point, Texas. Each book focuses on a different couple from Lonesome Point. I would call this contemporary romance, definitely, but there's really, there's other elements to it than that. There's sometimes you'll get a feeling of suspense, some drama, and even like there's a paranormal feel to a lot of the books. They're also really funny. The dialogue is really catchy. The characters are so well written. It's a funny, hot, intriguing series that any romance junkie will love. I don't care what your go-to subgenre is or your favorite trope is. You will love these books. They are just amazing. Each book in the Lonesome Point series is a standalone, But what stands out to me with this series is that even though, you know, each couple has their own book and there's, you know, story arcs and character arcs in each book, as a whole, as a series as a whole, the series arc is wonderfully done. It's beautiful. You really get the sense of completion and closure with each novel, as well as with the entire series as a whole. The reading order for the Lonesome Point series is Leather and Lace, Saddles and Sin, Diamonds and Dust, Glitter and Grit, Chaps and Chance, Ropes and Revenge. Jessie's also written 2 companion novellas that take place in Lonesome Point. They're the 12 Days of Christmas and 12 Dates of Christmas, sorry, and Sunny with a Chance of True Love, The Ballad of Ugly Ross. I enjoyed these 2 novellas just as much as I did the main novels. Like I said, there's a little bit of everything thrown in to this book series, so, and it's very beautifully written, so I really think that if you like romance, any subgenre of romance, you'll like this series. Next up is the One to Hold series by Tia Louise. I actually have the paperback of One to Hold. And today I got this little beauty in the mail, this little keychain. If you can see it, it's kind of hard to see. Anyway, it's the One to Love cover. This series is hot, like really, really hot. This series is a little different than the other series that I've read. It's not a continuation of one couple throughout a bunch of books like the Shattered Heart series, but it's also not a different couple every book like the Lonesome Point series. It's centered around one main couple, Melissa and Derek. These 2 have more than one book in the series, but there's also other couples that have their own books as well. But you really get the sense that the entire series is really centered around Melissa and Derek's world. Overall, I really liked how this series was laid out. It didn't really focus so much on story arcs per novel, but you kind of get the sense of this greater picture, and the series arc as a whole seems to be more important than the individual books. I'm going to go out there and say that you could read these as standalones if you wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend it. The reading order is One to Hold, One to Keep, One to Protect, One to Love, One to Leave, and One to Save. And sometime this summer, I can't remember if it's June or July, I want to say it's June, One to Chase will be out, the next book in the series. These, like I said, they're hot reads. They're really good books. And the last series is the Cactus Creek series by Violet Duke. You know that warm, fuzzy feeling you get after you watch a romantic comedy? Well, if you were to pour that feeling into roughly 300 pages, you would have a Cactus Creek book. They're just feel-good romances. They're set in a small town. The dialogue is great. The writing is some of the smoothest I've read. I just all around love Violet's books. And if you're in the mood for a feel-good, happy, romantic book, Violet Duke's the way to go. Also, Violet writes men very, very well. Take that however you want. This is just all around a great series. The reading order is A Little Combustible Chemistry, Love Chocolate and Beer, Love Diamonds and Spades, Love Tussles and Takedown, which I actually have, and Love X's and O's. That is it for today for the reviews. I don't have my notes here right now. Next week I will be reviewing, if I can remember correctly, Mimi Strong. Haven't decided which book yet. I've read a lot of her books. I'll probably be reviewing a Melissa Foster book, and then a Lizzie Ford book, and a Kimberly Cray book. I haven't decided which books I'm going to review, but stay tuned and you'll find out. Thanks. Bye.